On this Thursday night, a mother is out on bond tonight after the special needs community rallied around her today. Diana Elliott was charged with first-degree child cruelty after she left her 14-year-old son with Down syndrome at Grady Hospital.
Caitlin Ross was in court today as those charges against her were read. She had a lot of support with her there. Caitlin?
There are only two benches at the jailhouse courtroom for supporters to sit, and one of them was packed with people there to support Diana Elliott. She had never met a single one of them. Diana Elliott stood by herself in the courtroom today, but she wasn't alone.
We saw the news and our hearts broke, and we had to come and support her.
A group of mothers who have children with Down syndrome showed up to stand behind Diana Elliott as the charges were read. Carla Griffin said it could have been her before a judge in handcuffs.
I did the same thing she did some years ago. I abandoned my son in a hospital for 7 months. There's a wait list that is miles long, and a parent runs out of strategy.
Carla was eventually reunited with her son, John. She knows that's where Diana's son needs to be too, back with his mom.
I would say any individual that's trying to single parent children with special needs, there are a host of challenges, and those challenges can certainly be met with the right support network.
Attorney Brian Gerard drove from Macon this morning to represent Diana pro bono at her hearing. He and his wife have adopted 3 sons with Down syndrome, and he thinks what she needs is support, not jail time.
I've agreed to handle the case because I think there are more constructive ways to deal with Ms. Elliott and the situation she found herself in.
The Down Syndrome Association of Atlanta started a fundraiser for Diana and her 4 kids to get them back together.
People weren't there to condemn her for what she did.
Executive Director Cheryl Arno says their community will come together to support their family. They already have.
And I hope that she feels all the love and support that she's getting out there.
All 4 of Diana's kids are in state custody tonight. She was ordered not to have any contact with them unless it was supervised by the Department of Children and Families. Her next court date is December 26th.
Caitlin, thank you. Since airing the story, so many people have asked if the safe haven law applies to this situation. It allows parents to surrender babies at certain locations without facing any charges. We have the answer for you on 11alive.com. You can check it out on the article, and you can find it on the As Seen on TV section of our new 11 Alive app.